Meghan Markle sits cross-legged on an overstuffed velvet cushion, framed by a ring of softly glowing crystals and enough candles to violate a fire code. A branded mic with a lotus flower logo hovers in front of her face, as she looks directly into the camera with the intensity of a TED Talk fused with a seance.
This is my truth.
The words echo theatrically, bouncing off salt lamps and spiritual wall art behind her. A large, hand-painted sign reads, "Trauma is a teacher trademark." The music swells, slow piano over whale sounds, as she closes her eyes and places her hand over her heart like she's about to swear into the Supreme Court of Oprah. Suddenly, we cut to the familiar South Park theme sting, and a recap screen that reads, "Previously on Cringe Chronicles." After reinventing royal exit interviews, Hollywood branding, and emotional voicemail parenting, Meghan Markle returns to give the people what they didn't ask for: more content. We hard cut to Butters sitting at home on the couch, watching Meghan's podcast with wide eyes and a half-eaten toaster pastry in hand. He turns slowly to his dad.
"She said emailing your kid every night makes you a prophet."
Back in the Markle Monastery of Enlightenment, Meghan continues,
When my child opens their inbox at 18 and sees that I wrote to them every single night, they'll know I chose them. I fought for them. I was present for them in Gmail.
From the corner, a producer nods solemnly and lights another candle. The camera slowly pans in on Meghan's face as she exhales deeply and declares,
Let this podcast be the start of your healing journey.
Back to South Park Elementary, where the boys sit in stunned silence in front of a classroom projector screen.
Is this a cult?
It feels like a cult.
Nah, it's not a cult. Cults give you cookies. This is just narcissism with good lighting.
And just like that, the tone is set. South Park isn't just listening, it's preparing to eviscerate. Jamie Kern-Lima beams into the camera like a freshly programmed Stepford wife, her voice soft enough to hypnotize a Labrador.
Today on Authenticity Unplugged, we're joined by someone whose vulnerability has healed the world. Meghan Markle, thank you for blessing us with your presence of presence.
The screen fades into a filtered close-up of Meghan, seated in what looks like a hybrid between a yoga studio and a restoration hardware catalog. She closes her eyes, breathes deeply, then opens them with rehearsed sincerity.
I am light. I am worthy. I am Her Royal Highness.
Cut to Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny staring blankly at a laptop playing the interview during homeroom. A mandatory mental health media literacy session has been forced on the class after the superintendent's wife binged 3 wellness podcasts and decided it was an emergency.
Wait, did she just call herself Her Royal Highness? Didn't they, quit that?
Nope. This is a cult. Look at her face. That's the same face Tom Cruise had when he said psychiatry was a crime against humanity.
This feels like a brain sauna.
As the podcast continues, Jamie nods with intense, unblinking affirmation to everything Meghan says, even when it's complete nonsense.
When I chose to be visible, I was actually choosing invisibility, because to be truly seen is to disappear into the light.
That's not how metaphors work.
I'm calling it now. She's building a TikTok church where you pay in vegan candles and trauma stories. We need to stop this before it spreads to brunch menus.
But the school has already bought in. On the PA, Victoria announces,
Students, in celebration of emotional bravery, next week is Vulnerability Day. Bring a journal, a soft blanket, and a snack that represents your inner child.
Oh, it's on.
As the camera slowly zooms back in on Jamie and Meghan, the words, "Let the healing begin," fade onto the screen in script font.
Sometimes the truest you is the unbrushed you.
This is a war on logic.
And just like that, the kids are locked in for the weirdest week of school South Park's ever seen, and Meghan's only warming up. The town square of South Park has been transformed into what looks like a combination TED Talk, religious revival, and home goods clearance aisle. Dream catchers sway in the breeze. Soft harp music plays over hidden speakers. A giant banner reads, "Live with Meghan, no makeup, no filter, no accountability." Citizens pack into folding chairs, fidgeting uncomfortably as ushers pass out gift bags filled with vegan candles, handwritten affirmations, and pretzels in burlap pouches labeled soul snacks. Attendance is mandatory. A flyer taped to every lamppost warns, absence will be interpreted as anti-healing and may result in public shaming. On stage, Meghan Markle glides into view, wearing an oversized beige sweater and what she calls a bare face, though the soft matte concealer, strategically placed highlighter, and fake freckles say otherwise. Her voice drops into its signature spiritual whisper.
Thank you for joining me today as I stand here, stripped of makeup, but not of meaning.
She's wearing more foundation than my mom's wedding cake.
Meghan, your bravery is a revolution.
Just as Meghan opens her mouth to begin her first unscripted revelation, Cartman barrels onto the stage in a sparkly diaper, a plastic tiara, and a sash that reads, "Inner Child."
I'm 6, he declares, striking a pose, and I demand brand deals.
The crowd gasps.
I'm your trauma. I'm your TEDx talk. I'm the wounded archetype and the monetizable journey.
Meghan blinks in stunned silence. Jamie clutches a crystal in panic. Just then, a lightning bolt cracks dramatically in the sky. Despite it being a clear day, a glowing beam of golden light descends from the clouds and lands directly on the pretzel stand next to the stage. Doves fly out of nowhere. The townspeople stare in awe. A single pretzel rotates slowly on a serving tray, sparkling like a holy relic.
It's a sign. This is God's platform for me.
The crowd erupts into applause, unsure if it's satire or spiritual rebirth. A robed man in the front row sobs into his oat milk latte.
Okay, that's weird.
But the damage is done. Meghan has claimed divine status, with carbs as her witness. And the town? It's only going to get weirder from here. Back on stage, bathed in amber candlelight and the faint scent of lavender hand sanitizer, Meghan Markle closes her eyes and begins her final monologue with the gravity of someone accepting a Nobel Peace Prize for surviving brunch criticism.
In a world that profits off our pain, I choose freedom. Freedom from judgment. Freedom from titles. Freedom from the expectations you put on me, unless they're good ones.
Just as the piano swells behind her and Jamie Kern-Lima begins quietly sobbing into a silk tissue, a frantic assistant rushes on stage, holding a phone like it's a live grenade.
Meghan, your Instagram follower count just dropped by 8,000.
The music screeches to a halt. Meghan freezes mid-poetic pause.
What? But I cried during the lavender candle segment?
Dude, is she okay? Maybe authenticity isn't a marketing strategy.
Off to the side, Buddhas clutches a pretzel like a stress ball. His voice cracks as he wipes away a tear.
I just wanted to feel empowered and eat pretzels.
On the Jumbotron behind Meghan, a banner drops revealing the real sponsor of the live podcast tour, Vagiglow. Align your chakras with our vegan ones. Gasps ripple through the crowd. A small legal disclaimer appears beneath the logo. Vagiglow is not FDA approved. Side effects may include excessive affirmations and unrequested pelvic enlightenment.
This interview felt like a hug from my spirit wolf, who has IBS.
As the crowd begins dispersing, the camera pulls back to show Randy Marsh yelling from a folding table.
Integrity Healing is still available. $3.99 for trauma balm. No wolf required.
Cut to black, but we're not done yet. The screen flashes. 2 weeks later, Meghan now hosts a new digital series, Pretzels and Pain, a mindful journey, shot in a softly lit studio that resembles an anthropology store with commitment issues. She's seated on a reclaimed wood throne, cradling a gluten-free pretzel and saying things like,
I used to see pain as an enemy, but now it's my content.
Meanwhile, across town, Cartman records the unfiltered truth inside a porta potty with a scented candle and a stolen iPhone. His face glows red from the heat lamp he claims activates the truth chakra.
Today, we're talking about how gratitude is a scam made by Big Candle. Vulnerability is my brand.
A toilet flush echoes behind him. Fade to black. Cue harp music. Series logo appears. South Park presents Drama Queen. You already know, they're gonna get cancelled for this. Again, if you made it this far without launching a wellness brand or crying into a gluten-free pretzel, you might just be immune to satire. So hit that like button, drop your favorite trauma monetizer in the comments, and subscribe for more unfiltered nonsense the royals definitely don't want you to see. And remember, around here, vulnerability is a brand,